Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on Their Fight Story with Igdalia. We have an amazing guest today. We have Mattie C Sports. Maddie, how are you
Hey,
doing today?
wonderful, Miss Iggy. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How has 2022 been for you?
Um, I would say it as every year, everybody has their ups and downs at some point, whether it be January and you don't even remember it, or March, and it can be good times like August. It's my daughter's birthday, so it's been good for the most part. Looking forward to 2023.
What was the best part of 2022 for you?
What was the best part? That's a good question. Um, Again, basically celebrating my daughter's birthday. She turned 4 this August, and getting to know, what my boundaries are, as in, you know, when to pick a fight, when not to, um, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's very important. I mean, there are so many things that happen in life that we have to learn how to manage. And sometimes, depending on the situation, we have to learn how to separate ourselves from personal and business. Because a lot of times, if we respond the way we want to, we burn a lot of bridges. But we also have to make sure that how we handle situations isn't going to close doors for us, but it's going to allow us to be able to walk out of those doors if it's no longer fitting for us, if it's no longer part of our future, because we can't stay in a situation that is no longer a part of our life.
Exactly. And, I myself have made it to where I have, unbeknownst, like anger here and there, but I'm working on it, and I know it's not me. I'm usually a positive person. I like to make people laugh and do things that are fun for me. So podcasting is one thing, and trying to help others, but in the same breath, make myself the main priority. Now, what I say in that, for people who don't know, is you got to take care of yourself first before anything else. Take care of your kids. Take care of um, whatever sport you play. What Just basically life. You got to make sure you're the first priority.
Yes, that's very important. Now, I know 2022 is not over yet, but as of now, what was the most difficult or worst part of 2022?
Um, the worst part of it was probably my brother being sick. Um, he had spouts where he was in the hospital for months at a time, to ICU, to um, to 11 days in the hospital recently. It's a big wear on our family, and it's tough to see all the time. Thankfully, he was doing well at Christmas, but that's the toughest thing for me, is seeing my brother sick, because he is full time, 24-hour care in with my parents and special needs. So it's tough sometimes, but it makes you appreciate what you have, and I wouldn't trade my brother for the world.
Yeah, and that's the best part, having siblings and having a close family. Very important. Not everybody is blessed to have that. Some people, they have a big family, but they don't have that bond and that appreciation and that love that comes with it, and other people, they don't have anybody in their life. And then, people will welcome you into their home without questioning and just being there to just support you and love you. And like you said, with the thing with your brother, it does take a toll on you, mentally and physically, because it's a lot. How is he doing now?
He's doing better, from what I know. The worst trait about my immediate family is things like with my brother. They don't want me to know right away because they know I worry. But that's just human instinct, is worry with something like that. So like, it gets me emotional.
Hmm.
the stomach pain and almost in tears, but sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. But um, people need to realize that, people have depression, people have anxiety, people have these things, but appreciate what you have. And, we have the, and I'll always say the saying is the past is depression, the future is anxiety, and you got to live in the present. So that's my philosophy. Somebody in the sports world introduced me to that, and I stay with that ever since.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, honestly. Like, in order to actually master that and actually, make it a part of us, it takes a lot, because you just don't wake up one morning and be like, yep, my past is gone. I'm moving forward and you're all happy and stuff. It doesn't. It's like a roller coaster. One minute you're great, the other minute you're like going down. And with that, it's a matter of just knowing and understanding that it's okay to have those moments. It's okay to have those moments where we look back at the past, and we don't look back at the past to
Mm,
stay in the past. We look at the past to understand it and to move forward and to prevent it from happening again. Just like, when we're at our shows and we're working and all of a sudden, the audio goes. Well, guess what? It wasn't fun at all. But what are we doing from it? We're learning from that, from the past. Yes, we get frustrated,
yes.
but we got to learn from it. So if we completely ignore it, it's not going to help us in our future, in our present. So it's a matter of finding that perfect balance. Don't stay there. Don't stay in your past. Use it to move forward. And even if you feel like you're taking a step back, remember when you take a step back, just remember if you're just imagine that there's like this rubber band behind you. So like you're leaning back and you're taking 2, 3 steps, and then guess what? You're going to be launched forward because you've taken that information from the past to launch you to a better future. Is it going to be easy? No, it's never easy, but it's definitely worth it.
I like that. I like that analogy with the rubber band. I like that
Yeah, because we don't want to
because
stay
it's true.
there. Yeah. And we don't want to stay there. And we have to understand that sometimes we can talk to each other, different people, and it's not complaining. We're venting. We're getting it out of the system. We're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. How can we prevent this from happening again? Because if we're trying to do it alone, we may not find the answer because we're basing it just on that information that we know. And there's somebody out there that has the other knowledge that we need in order to keep moving forward to our next chapter in our life, and
Hmm.
you know that because you've experienced so many difficult situations in your life. So
Hmm.
how has it been for you? Because you've gone through, certain things in your life, not even too long ago, just like 5, 6 years ago, and you are moving forward and you have this passion of sports that you dove into. And how is that helping you to keep you from going to your past and staying there?
Well, I will be honest that it's not just it doesn't happen overnight, and no, don't everybody ever think that that's the case. I don't care what you've been through; it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it comes at you like you look at something random, like this water bottle, and something could bring back the past to you. But for me, mine was 2018. I went through a big struggle, and um, nothing out of the ordinary terrible, but it was a time where I felt alone when I had unbelievable support from so many people. And what happened now is I still get that continuous support in other ways. And honestly, I can't thank the MMA community around this local area for looking out for me. Even people that say things, and I mean, I think I was on a Facebook page and I posted something, and a fighter immediately said to me, "Are you okay? Like, is everything okay?" Like, that takes a lot, and in the boxing community too. But in the real world too, I have nothing but love from parents, friends, therapists, and that's the stigma too. Is if you have a therapist, you're considered weak. No, it's helping you through what you're going through, and you're venting from an outside source. So what I mean by that is not always can you just go to mom, wife, daughter, whoever you're talking to. Sometimes you need that third party to really either vent or whatever. And my advice to people that are maybe trying to go to therapy or do something like that, do not pick the first one that you found, because that person might not be for you. You really have to find what's best for you. So in that case, I mean, through the years, it was baby steps, and it's still baby steps, a continuous thing. But what's getting me through it is my daughter, my wife, my family, stuff like that. And honestly, podcasting is a part of it. And I've met some really great people through all of it. And I know they have struggles too. And people have told me, they have depression and they have this, and I'm like a doctor to them. I'm like, I'm no doctor, but I mean, I can help you with my experience. I mean, but so far, hopefully 2023 is the year that, I can look forward instead of going backwards, and really taking lessons in positivity instead of negativity all the time. Because that's another problem I have, but working on it.
It's part of life. It is absolutely just part of life. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem is if you stay there, because
Absolutely.
venting
Hmm.
isn't a negative thing. You're letting it out of your body. So it doesn't cause you more harm, because a lot of people who keep certain things to themselves, they're not allowing themselves to express how they're really feeling, which causes, stomach pains, it causes headaches, causes loss of appetite, it causes
Hmm.
it causes sadness. And the key to that is just having somebody that will listen to you, not give you an opinion, not give you a solution. Because remember, what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not.
Hmm.
And it's okay, because it's not about finding the solution for the person, it's about showing them that there is more than one option. And by knowing that there's more than one option, if my option didn't work and your option didn't work, then guess what? There's probably something else out there. And
Hmm.
we are here to help one another. Like, I don't know if you saw, but I interviewed Matt Denning not too long ago. And he expressed how, you mentioned the MMA community has been great with you, but he also expressed that the MMA community has not been great to him, and
Okay.
we have different views on it. And it's okay, because, he's a strong individual, mentally, physically, emotionally, that is looking for a way to keep pushing forward. Like, even during his fight career, he dealt with a lot of depression, but he didn't give up.
Hmm.
He used it and he pushed through it. Now he's trying to do his own nonprofit organization to help other individuals, because he does not want them to suffer the way he suffered. So basically is, we're not going to stay in our past, but we will use our past as a guide to help us prevent certain situations in our lives, help others. Because you know what it is? I've realized lately that, you know, there are things in my life that I don't like and I wish that I never experienced. However,
Absolutely.
these experiences help somebody else out. A lot of times when people are looking for help and they're looking for assistance, or they're looking for somebody to listen to them, or they're looking for somebody to understand them, they won't do it unless they know or feel that the person they're going to understands, that they know or feel that that person will, give them the right information, where it's not a hidden agenda. Because I've usually been quiet about certain situations, right? And then all of a sudden somebody comes up and will say, well, I'm going through this and I'm going through that. And like I tell them, I can't give you an answer. as to how to do it and how to overcome it and stuff. But this is what worked for me, And then when I tell them, they're like, oh, but we didn't know that you experienced something like that. And it's like, that's fine because it's not for everybody to know. But if a situation is there where my experience can help somebody else, then I will let them know. Because in the beginning, it's kind of like, I'm not hearing anything that you have to say because you don't know what I'm going through. And you don't, and then it's just like, but I do. And it's not about comparing about whose trauma is worse than the other. Screw it, it doesn't matter. Trauma is
Hmm.
trauma. A person is here to help one another to make sure that they don't experience the pain and suffering that they went through. So, like I was saying, like Matt Denning mentioned in his interview, is that many people who go to the gyms and start training, they're not necessarily training because they want to fight in, by fist fights or kicks and stuff like that. It's a mental, internal battle that they're fighting. And the only way they can really get it out is sparring, is in a fight. And the thing is, this is going to be completely like random, but that's really, as I've seen, because it's not like 100%, obviously, but from what I've seen, a lot of men do that. Why? In my opinion, it's because if they don't, they're being labeled. They're being labeled like men can't reach out and get help. Nope, that you can't do that. That's a weak person. No, a weak person is somebody who will not go and look for the help. A weak person is somebody that will just stay there and not do anything for themselves and just let themselves wither away. A strong person will find a way to get better, will find a way to be heard. And it's a lot of violence that is happening is for lack of being heard, lack of being understood, lack of giving the opportunity to get the help that they need. And this, we have
Yeah,
men, men's mental health, and everybody wants to look at it because, oh no, the man is supposed to be strong. Well, look, guess what? The man is supposed to be strong. And if the man is able to reach out and get the help that he needs, you know how much more stronger this individual will be?
exactly, exactly. And I could tell you stories upon stories. Like, I wrote down my experience when I was sick for what happened to me through hospital, through missing time with my daughter, from missing like just all different types of things. And, almost feeling like I was dying, not wanting to die or anything like that. But it was just stuff that, that happened. And, to persevere through it, I feel like I won in that situation. I feel like I was tough to do it. Like, unfortunately, some people just keep it in their head and then they're like, I can't do this anymore. And unfortunately, the negative thing happens and people lose brothers, sons, daughters, things like that, turn to drugs, alcohol, whatever. But the thing I will say is with with people with depression and people who do things, they try to sleep it off. It doesn't work. I'll use an example as when I was sick. The only thing I friggin' watched was Family Feud, and I fucking hate that show now, honestly. But it was the only thing that like I was lethargic. I didn't like. I paid attention, but I didn't. So I don't mind Steve Harvey, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just something to just look at.
Yeah.
And that's a feeling I never want to have again. So I've made it a goal to, you know, don't be in the dark. To anybody who's in that place, do not be in the dark. Do not watch TV like in the dark. I'm not, it's just like that. Just you put yourself in a hole, and it's a very hard hole to sometimes get out of, and it's a tough thing. I will say I did hit rock bottom, honestly, not because of drugs, not because of alcohol, because of mental health. Now, mental health is no joke. And, like you said, Iggy, with, you know, whose trauma is worse, whose trauma is like all that. It doesn't mean shit. It just means, you know, how can I help you? How can you help me? We could see it that way. But, some people are like, I'm too strong for that. I don't need any help. Well, it's all up to the person who's going through it. You can't force somebody to, do what they don't want to do. But you sometimes hard love doesn't really work. Sometimes it does. But it's life, and you can either persevere through it, or you can keep yourself in that hole and just stay in the dark, because that's essentially what happens.
Yeah. And, I've always said it, and I tell my friend all the time, and she gets annoyed with me to the point that she's like, I get it, Iggy, I get it. I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Now, if a person is going through some sort of trauma, you listen to them first, and then
Hmm.
you give them your point of view, right? But don't be giving a point of view where you are looking down at the person, or the person thinks that you are looking basically, yeah, like they're less than. And it's like, no, 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 you're not less than anything. It's a matter of knowing that our words can either break or fix a person. And we need to make sure that our words are used for good. Don't allow the emotional reaction. They always say never say anything, or never buy or do certain things when you are emotional, when it has an emotional impact to you. So if you're angry and you're sad and you're happy, take a step back, and don't make any decisions based on an emotional feeling, because once that moment goes by, would you still have done what you did? But the thing is, you can't take it back.
True.
So if someone's angry at you and they yell at you and they insult you, guess what? They can come back later and say, "My bad, I really didn't mean to say that, and oh, it was the alcohol, or I was having a bad day." But you know what? Those words hurt.
Hmm.
And now, like, let's say that happened to me. Now I'm going to question whenever somebody has something to say to me. Now I'm going to question, like, "Oh, I love you. But do you really? Or do you love me, or do you love what I can provide for you?" Because that's totally different. And we have to be cautious of who we surround ourselves with, because we don't want to allow ourselves to sink. We are growing every single day. We are moving forward. We have to set an example for our future, for the kids that are growing up, for the ones that are seeing us now, for the ones that are struggling and don't know how to make it out, that there is a way out. We can't just stay stuck. It's not an option. Like I always say, you can take a break, you can stop where you are and recharge, but don't give up. Just don't give up, because you could be right there. You could be at that point that you've always wanted, but you are so overwhelmed and you are so stressed. So just recharge. And there is nothing wrong with recharging. We all need to recharge.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too, is there were times, of course, and I've talked to you about this, where I didn't want to do this anymore. Like, I didn't want to podcast anymore because it was too much. Like, oh, I have to get this show done on time. Oh, well, I have to find somebody to interview. It ain't about that. And that's the other thing, is I know people that struggle with the podcast themselves. They think they're doing good for themselves, but at the same time, they're like, they're begging on shows like, please get me to 100, please get me to 1,000, please. That's not helping you. Honestly, it's on your, like, if you go like this, you could say, oh, well, there's 100. Like, they're just numbers. There's no definitive thing like, oh, well, you have 100 followers. Like, who cares? Like, if you love what you really do, then do it. Like me, I have social media everywhere, and maybe I post too much for some people, but that's my thing. I mean, other people have their thing. You put like example, like you post videos on a different day. I post them every Tuesday.
Mhm.
So it's like be your own person, and if you got, obviously there's going to be haters. I mean, this is whole globe full of people. So if somebody's mad at you in New Zealand, are you gonna really retaliate and say, hey, like this is bullshit, you don't like my show? It's not how it works. Like for me, I like my show, I like what I do, I like promoting it, I like promoting fighters, I like well, every one of my big um, models is what I say to people who are on my show is once you join my show, you're family. And that's you, and that's 90, that's pretty much 100% true. Now, whether you have that or not, that's up to you. But anybody's always welcome on my show, including you, obviously.
Thank you. Now, your show, your podcast is all about sports.
hmm
Did you decide to do this? Like, you went through so many obstacles in life and you didn't want to give up, but you didn't have the energy to move forward. How did you get into podcasting to push you and get you where you are today?
So this is funny you ask, and I've never been asked this question, so thank you. Which was actually I think I was on Instagram or something, and I had a poll. This was the month after COVID, so April 2020. So somebody posted, there was a poll, and I said, should I start a podcast? And the first answer was no. I deleted that post, and I was like, okay. So from then, so from from then to now is where I'm at. But um, what made me really start that was originally I was a little bit bored of like this whole sitting around and all that for COVID. So then I started, hey, maybe this person will reach out. Hey, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing. So like I said, like it's not about the followers. I know who sees my show, I know who doesn't. So my thing was it's definitely been a help. Sometimes it got stressful for me, like like I said to you, like, oh well, I need to get this person, I need to do this, I need to do that. No, the people come along, people and fighters come along, hockey players, whoever. It's fun for me, and like I enjoy it. I'm so nerdy now. I got one of those dot cards where I'm like, all right, so you don't have to like take my business card, this stupid piece of paper I know you're gonna throw away. I'm just gonna tap your phone and there we go.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. Now I'm trying to do merch and all that stuff. So it gives me motivation to not be stressed and not be having anxiety, and alleviating some of those things. So, and honestly, like I met you through podcasting as well, and you know, it's a great positive thing. But you got to use this tool as fun. Like that's my main thing. If you don't like this, like if you aren't having fun with this, then maybe you shouldn't do it. And if you're looking for views in the first week to have 1 million, it ain't gonna happen unless you're Joe Rogan. But
We're almost there.
yeah, we're almost there. We're close. But yeah, I mean, podcasting really helped me out through a lot of stuff. It's helped me meet some amazing people in all different backgrounds. From you know someone out in Baltimore, from somebody out in California, from somebody here, fighters that I've made close friends with, and so it's just been an honor and amazing thing. And now, I mean, shit, I'm even sponsoring a fighter, so it's great for me. I have a lot of fun with it, and never did I think I'd have 3 monitors to help me on a podcast.
That's awesome. I tried doing that and I couldn't handle it. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, it helps because Tapology's over here, so I can say you last fought. And
Oh, I was like, look at you. Now I know your secrets.
yeah, shout out Mike Paul Ver. Now I know who's who.
Okay. Yes. So, who has been, I know you mentioned it in an interview. I mean, you didn't you didn't mention who the person was.
Okay.
Can you remind people of the worst experience you had as a podcaster?
My work as a podcaster.
In like in the middle of interviewing somebody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, so interesting thing was this, I won't say who, but he was a highly regarded athlete in college football many years ago, well, many years, 1998, and he was a stud. He won the national championship in Tennessee, and I interviewed him, and the final thing he said was, "Are we done yet?" And that just pissed me off. I never posted that story. I never did anything with that. I just tossed it out, and it was a learning experience. And just pick who you think is right for you, whether it be a relationship, whether it be anything. Pick what's right for you, because there's going to be some jerks. There's going to be some people who are rude and disrespectful, but those are the people that usually have something wrong with their life too. Maybe they have mental health stuff. Who knows?
Like I said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
That's right. I'm done with that guy.
What if he calls you tomorrow and be like, hey,
Um,
that interview? Can we redo it?
no, I'm a Bama fan. I'm a Bama fan, so I'll talk to Eric Anders anytime.
Before we conclude, is there anything that you would like to share? Actually, what can we expect from you in 2023?
Well, at first thing this year will be, um, I will be interviewing post fight at Cage Titans 57 in Plymouth, Massachusetts at Plymouth Memorial Hall, which I will also have my friend next to me helping me out. So that's a big part. I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing all the fighters. Of course, looking forward to see you, Iggy. That, and basically just really chilling and calming my anger down, that I know is not me. You know what I mean? Like I'm more nice of a person than I play off and get mad easily, which is not a good trait. So positivity I need, and to be more nice.
We're not going to see Mad Maddie.
Um, I hope not. I hope not. No, I really don't think so. I got mad about stupid little things, and I talked to you about that. And it's just small tidbits that are like, you know what? Like, why am I even worried about this? That's like, it's exactly what I'm kind of saying about, people that want 100 followers and all that stuff. It's bullshit you can't control, and it's bullshit you don't really need to worry about. So that's my goal, is to really change my attitude through this year, and, you know, trying to be the best person I can, and continue to make friends along the way, and again, hoping to get into the boxing community again. And I think MMA will always be in my heart, whether it be Cage Titans, CES, maybe the UFC. I don't know, but um, yeah, my main goal is just to have fun and be happy, because my daughter needs to see that
Hmm.
close. So that's a person who keeps me going, is my daughter and my wife. So
Yeah. No, you have a great little team. Your daughter, does, fight predictions. So it's great to see. And your wife is amazing supporting you. So I love that team. You got a great team.
Yeah, and my daughter always she always roots for one fighter, and she thinks he's on every card, whether it be UFC, PFL, any on that card every time, any show. So that person probably knows what I'm talking about. But um, yeah, and she loves it just as much. Unfortunately, I would love to take her to Cage Titans, but it's kind of something I want to do. But at the same time, I'd rather her not see people's arms snatched or any craziness. But
Yeah, I mean, you
I
could always
love it.
bring her like in the summer, like during a weigh-in or a press conference. That way she sees the fighters, but she's not actually seeing the fight. Um,
Excellent point.
so she's still a part of it, and you'll give her time to figure out what it is that she wants. Or
Well,
you.
maybe, yeah, yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mandy. I really appreciate your time. I will be talking to you very soon.
Yes, and anytime you want to join the show, go right ahead. You're always invited. Thank you, Iggy.
Awesome. Thank you.